So many of us at ABC News know about the work that the Grossman Burn Foundation has done to provide so much care, new life for women, children, people around the United States and the world in need of that urgent medical care.
I just wanted to take a moment of your time this evening to say a few words about the Grossman Burn Foundation. This extraordinary organization is making a huge difference around the world.
Another miracle at the Grossman Burn Center here in Southern California.
Wonderful story.
The Grossman Burn Foundation has launched a campaign to stop the violence carried out against women around the world.
A local Oscar-winning special effects artist has become a hero to a woman on the other side of the globe, a woman whose face was destroyed by her own husband.
Rebecca Grossman of the Grossman Burn Foundation found out about Eustace. Rebecca takes the prosthetics, travels to Indonesia, and delivers them to Eustace in person. It's a day Eustace never thought would come. Finally, she gets the first sign of hope that she'll feel complete again.
Now, my next guest was burned so badly that she wasn't able to close her eyes or her mouth for an entire year. Imagine that. In Afghanistan, 9-year-old Zubaydah Hassan was trying to light the family stove, but when she poured the kerosene in, it burst into flames, setting her on fire. Zubaydah was scarred beyond recognition. Her flesh melted in the intense heat, leaving her arm glued to the side of her body and her face fused grotesquely to her chest. Local medical care was primitive and painful. Her father, Muhammad, was told to take his daughter home to die. But Muhammad wouldn't give up. Taking a chance, he brought his daughter to doctors at the American Army base in Kabul. Military doctors don't usually get involved in civilian cases. Incredibly, though, they made an exception for Zubaydah. A few months later, the little girl living in an Afghan refugee camp was on her first plane ride to the United States.
I'm Peter Grossman. How are you?
Dr. Peter Grossman heard Zubaydah's story from his brother-in-law in the State Department, and he wanted to help.
I'm a surgeon, and I will be one of the doctors who will be operating on Zubaydah to help her move her neck better and to move her arm better.
Behind the mask was an incredible little girl full of spirit and the will to survive. Well, the little girl who'd been given up for dead was now in the hands of angels who were determined to give Zubaydah back her smile. Look. Zubaydah has made an incredible transformation, bravely enduring 11 surgeries over this past year, with more still to come. It's incredible how strong this little girl is. Not only is she coping with major medical procedures, she's adapting to life thousands of miles from her family.
Very good.
When it looked as if she would have to return to Afghanistan before she completed her treatment, Dr. Grossman and his wife Rebecca welcomed her into their California home.
Our experience with Zubaydah Hassan, the young girl from Afghanistan who was a burn patient, was a life-changing experience. This experience was so dramatic in the way that we thought about our everyday lives. We never thought we'd find ourselves going to Afghanistan or trying to open up a burn center in Kabul or working with people all over the world. Every one of our initiatives, whether they were local or community or international, were inspired in some way by Zubaydah.
Before her surgery, she could barely speak. Now she loves to sing and play the guitar, and just as the doctor promised, she can dance again.
Another individual that inspired us to start the telemedicine program was Bibi Aisha, a young girl from Afghanistan that was brutally attacked by her husband, and her nose and ears were cut off. She came to us as a patient. That's when we had the opportunity to start testing out the telemedicine. She was doing psychology and mental health support through telemedicine right here locally. And now we were able to learn that we could use that internationally as well. Project Faith was inspired by Faith Wanjugo, a young woman in Kenya, Africa, who had 3 children when a stove blew up in her face. She was not even able to feed herself.
All the time. But I feel happy when I'm here. I feel as if already I'm healed.
Her story came to us through mission workers there, and we were able to bring Faith here, and after 9 months of surgery, we were able to give her life back as well. And we stay in touch with Faith on a regular basis.
Grossman Burn Foundation staff, they are all wonderful. They have been wonderful to me, and I can never tell them enough thanks. I'm forever thankful, and only God can be able to repay them.
The entire team here, the doctors, the nurses, everybody that's involved in this rehabilitation for the burn-injured patient are grateful and blessed to be able to have the opportunity to change lives, because the gift really does belong to the giver.
No matter how good a job is done from a surgical perspective, the patient will never be as good as they would have been had they not been injured in the first place. And so prevention is the key to have the best outcomes. And so what are we talking about here? We're talking about outreach into the community. We are partnering with many different organizations to educate schools. We have a website, burnsafety.com. We have an app that will hopefully educate not only teachers and parents, but students as well, to understand the risks and how to prevent those risks and how to prevent from getting burned.
We're so grateful that so many of our younger generation in the schools here in our local community have reached out to us and have been inspired by the work that we do, and have gone out and started fundraising programs to bring in books and toys and videos for the pediatric unit and to support burn survivors here locally in our own community. So much money is spent bringing people from other areas of the world here to the United States for treatment. Through telemedicine, finally we have the opportunity to be able to support other people and medical aid workers in these areas to treat these people for these acute burns right away. Most of the cases that we get are reconstructive. They aren't acute burns. They've built up scars over years, and then we have them come to us a year later and it becomes more of a reconstructive case. Then there's the long-term, sometimes $500,000, $1 million to treat one patient, when you could probably treat 3,000 people in their local community with that type of money, or you can bring that money back here in the United States and we could focus on our local initiatives and being able to support our community and the burn survivors that are here in America.
Among the many goals of the Grossman Burn Foundation is to be able to reach out and educate people throughout the world where burn care may not exist, and yet burn injuries are pervasive. Oftentimes, these areas don't have the resources to take care of the severely burn injured patient. What we hope to achieve is to be able to reach out, even if we can't be there physically. Now, with the use of telemedicine, we can virtually be in a location, act as a consultant, give our advice, let these individuals who are taking care of patients who are injured know what the best next step is, whether it's transferring that patient to a different location or how to take care of the patient on a day-to-day basis. The Grossman Burn Foundation is really working on a way in which we can help individuals, help communities, help themselves. Our goal at GBF is to reach out to other organizations so that as a team we can work together to deal with the needs of the burn survivor. We'll partner with different firefighter organizations, with different nonprofit organizations that are really geared to help the individual, whether it's a child or whether it's an adult, because we realize that there are a lot of needs that are being unmet, and working together we feel that we can accomplish the goal of making the quality of life of these individuals just that much better.